If you're new to drawing and art in general, it can be very scary walking into the art store and not knowing what to buy. What brands are trustworthy? What should you even get in the first place? Well, as an artist of 20 something years, I would love to share with you some of my favorite drawing tools and what I would recommend that you use. Now, everything I talk about in this video is listed down in the description below. I've got some Amazon associate links down there, and if you choose to use those links, I do get a very small percentage of the sale, which really helps out me and my channel. So thank you so much for the support. Otherwise, I always recommend that you go support your local art store and buy your supplies there, just because I am a big advocate for buying local and supporting local, so be sure to check them out as well. But if you don't have a local art store, then please feel free to hit those Amazon links down below. Also, if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any other art tips here on my channel. Now, let's get into it. Let's talk about sketchbooks. So I am not like ride or die about any specific sketchbook brand. However, for a long time, I made it like a very good practice to fill up one of these bad boys every single year. That's really cool because it kind of documents different years of my life. I use it as a journal, as a sketchbook, as an everything creative place, and roughly, I would fill it in about a year. Now, if you're drawing more than I do, you might fill one of these up in a matter of months. Who knows? The brand is Pentalic. And I just really love the hardback aspect of this. It feels like a book, which I like. It just makes it feel kind of magical. And it's pretty sturdy. I mean, I've had these bad boys for years, so now the spines are starting to break apart, but they are pretty sturdy. I really like them. I love the paper inside of them. And yeah, highly recommend using one of these. I also recommend that you get like a portable notebook. So a little miniature one that you can throw in a backpack or a purse or just keep on your person. These are super nice for just little sketches on the go. If you're inspired in nature, if you want to go take it on a walk and do some drawing out in nature, I really recommend these. Same kind of, hardback concept. I know some people are like ride or die about moleskin. That's fine. But I find moleskins are just really expensive to be just kind of an average notebook. So I think any old hardback notebook will do. If you're one of those moleskin lovers, please don't kill me. Strathmore is a brand that I can get behind. These types of notebooks are really great if you're sketching up something for, say, a painting or just sketching in general, but obviously this is a little bit more intense for, taking it out in the world. If it's just gonna sit in your studio or at your desk, then awesome, but these come in all different shapes and sizes. You've got really big ones, you've got smaller ones, you've got a whole newspaper size ones for really big projects. These are just really quality paper. You can rip things out of them if you want to. So yeah, I highly recommend this brand as a really good sketchbook brand as well. Moving on, you're gonna laugh, but I actually couldn't find my pencils. I don't know where they are. I looked in my bag, I looked all over. Things are crazy right now, so I'll just throw up a picture right here, but the types of pencils that I really enjoy using are ebony pencils. These are my favorite drawing pencil. They're way better than like a number 2 graphite pencil that you might be using. These are like the real deal. They come in a range from soft to hard, and that just means the lead is literally soft or hard. Hard is really good for really dark things. Soft is good for some light shading. There is medium if you don't know which one you prefer. For me, I have a really hard time with soft because I get really intense when I'm drawing, and so I break the lead really easily. Medium and hard is usually what I tend to use. Please note that hard pencils are a lot harder to erase. So whatever you're putting down, you're kind of putting down. It's very hard to get hard lead up off of paper, whereas soft, very easy to erase. So just something to keep in mind. Maybe buy a range and experiment and see what you like for different things. Next, let's talk erasers. So a pink and kneaded eraser are so vital for any kind of drawing I'm doing, especially like charcoal drawings. So let's talk about the pink eraser. This is just your standard pink eraser. It is the Papermate pink eraser. I use this for its edges. So any sort of, lines that I need to define with an eraser, eraser, anything that I need to pick up that's really big. I really like using the points and the edges of the pink eraser. As this gets rounder and rounder, I will either cut it into a fine edge again with just scissors or a knife, or I'll just go get a new one, because I really like using this for definition in my drawings. On the opposite side is the kneaded eraser. Now, this does not look like this in the store. It comes in like a square package, and then you can literally knead this and shape it like kind of like intense clay or dough or something. So as you use it to erase, you clean it by kneading it. You can rip it apart and put it back together, don't worry. You like knead it into different shapes, and that cleans it. It's magic. I honestly could not tell you how it works or what it's made of. And then the other nice thing about it is that you can shape it into different shapes. So say you need like a really fine tip eraser, you can kind of make it into like a fine point to erase with. You can use it flat to do like really big areas of erasing, anything like that. So that's really cool. I highly recommend this. This is a product I never would have known about had I not gone to art school. My art teacher recommended them to us, and they're amazing. Pro tip for these, keep them in some kind of container, whether it's a plastic baggie or a little box, because if you get like charcoal or pastel in it, it's gonna get pretty nasty. I have gotten like pencil shavings in it, and there's just no undoing that. It is just gross and icky, and you either have to cut it out or just get a new one. But yeah, so keep it in a plastic baggie to keep it as clean as possible. Next, let's talk about drawing pens. Ooh, the Micron pen has to be my favorite drawing pen. These come in all different types of tips and sizes. You can get different edges, all kinds of things. These bad boys are a little bit expensive, but man, they last a really long time, and they're by far my favorite drawing pen to use. The ink is absolute true black, which I love. If you're drawing with, say, like a Sharpie, you might notice that there's a like shimmer of red or blue in the ink. It's not like true black, it's not matte. Micron pens are a true black matte. Love them. These are really good for any sort of line work or stippling. Along with Micron, I really like Master's Touch. This is a pack I've had for years and I still use them. So these come with all kinds of different tips, from like a more bold, almost like paintbrush tip, you can see that, to a really fine tip. These are really good for stippling and any kind of really detailed line work that you're trying to do with pens. So yeah, I recommend Micron or Master's Touch for different pens to draw with. Now again, I can't find my pencils, so I cannot find my pencil sharpener, but I would recommend that you get a slightly nicer metal pencil sharpener as opposed to like the little plastic ones that we had in elementary school. And this is simply because if you are using a soft lead pencil or a soft charcoal pencil, a dull blade is going to just break your lead, and it's going to be super frustrating trying to sharpen it and get it to a fine point, and then suddenly like half your pencil is gone because you're just sharpening it so much because you're breaking all your lead. So a really sharp, pristine pencil sharpener is just going to do a better job. You're going to be able to get that really fine tip that you want, and it's not going to break your lead all the time. Next, I am very big into charcoal, so I recommend General's charcoal for sticks and for pencils. Again, these come in a range of soft to super hard. Here are some General's pencils. I tend to use medium because obviously it's that nice middle ground, but I've got some soft and some hard ones too for various things. You kind of have to just experiment what you want to use the different soft and hardnesses for. General's charcoal is my go-to. Now this also comes in black, brown, and white. Some people really don't like using white charcoal and just prefer to erase. That's fine too. Also, I love this little box. Couldn't tell you where I got it, but if you want to get a little organizer box like this, charcoal is so messy. You can see how messy it is in there. So I recommend having some kind of like organization system, kind of like this, to keep everything separate. That way it's not just creating a huge mess in your art box. The next thing with this is blending sticks. So this is just really finely wrapped paper, and you use these to blend your charcoal. It comes in variation of widths like this all the way down to a really fine tip for detail work. These are amazing for blending and shading. I highly recommend that you use them. I used to be an amateur and all I had was like my pencil and my eraser and my finger, and you just can't get the same type of like beautiful blending that you can get with a blending stick. The last thing I want to call out as a tool is tracing paper. I don't have a book of it right now, but I have some examples of it. You can use tracing paper for all kinds of different things. You can use it to transfer, say you want to transfer from a sketch to a canvas or something like that. Tracing paper is just super thin paper that you can see through, essentially. What I like to use it for is to try variation. So you can see an example of that here. I have my sketch of this lion and I wanted to see what it would look like if he is at a camera. So I sketched the lion and put the camera in front of him. That way, you don't mess up your original sketch if you want to try something, or say you draw a face and realize maybe the eye is a little bit moved over. You can see what it would look like if you move it this way a little bit. Anything like that where you don't want to necessarily put like pen to paper right away, but you want to see what it would look like, you can layer things on there and layer variations together. So that's really helpful. I mean, you can use tracing paper for all kinds of different applications, but I just recommend that you have some on hand in case you need it. That is everything I have for you guys. I didn't want to overwhelm you with like everything I have in my toolbox. Those are like my basics to get you started drawing, get you started in some traditional art. Hopefully you found this helpful. Again, I've got those associate links down below, or go support your local art store. And thank you guys so much. Hit subscribe and I will see you in the next video.